Rendering Ranger R2 is a 1995 side-scrolling action game developed by Rainbow Arts, published by Virgin Interactive, and released on the Super Famicom as a Japanese-only game on November 17, 1995. The game's development is a slightly odd one. Turrican creator Manfred Trenz said the game actually started out as a side-scrolling Gradius clone called Targa, featuring hand-drawn graphics. Throughout its 3-year development cycle, a few Contra-style platform stages are added, however. Donkey Kong Country was subsequently released, and to great success, mind you, and these changes meant that the graphics ended up being pre-rendered 3D sprites, or in layman's terms, 3D models of clay that were then digitized into 2D pictures. Due to this, by the time the game was finally finished, the only company that was interested in publishing the game was the Japanese branch of Virgin Interactive. Its production run is estimated around 5,000 copies, and because of this, it's an extremely rare game to find. When it was released, local Japanese video game magazines like Famicom Chusen, now Famitsu, didn't give it favourable reviews, which is a pity because it's actually a pretty great game. Graphically, Rendering Ranger is up there with the best on the Super Famicom. If you've seen Killer Instinct or Donkey Kong Country, you've a fair idea. It's fake 3D, but you won't care. Your main character and the many hulking enemies are easy to distinguish from the backgrounds, and there's virtually no recycled scenery, giving every stage a clean new look. Model 7 scaling and rotation, texture transparency with many layers of parallax scrolling and 256 colour detailing, it's all present. Sound-wise, it's just phenomenal. Manfred Trenz, based in Europe at the time, worked as both the programmer and the composer for the game. I mean, the sound effects are standard, but look at the music credits. He made every last song all by himself. They are heavily synthesized and suit the mood of the game completely. R2 is divided into 2 types of gameplay, Contra-style platforming and a Gradius-style space combat. Each appears in consecutive turns. So in short, you run around shooting wildly at everything that moves in the Contra-style levels, or fly around and shoot all that moves or until it does in the Gradius-style ones. There are 9 levels in total, and you're not really given a story, but it seems very Terminator-esque in its lone soldier dumped on a post-apocalyptic planet being overthrown by robots kind of feel. Similar to Contra 3, I guess. You get a series of weapon power-ups at different shooting strengths and angles, and you'll wish you knew what to do with them. It has a password save feature, and this I presume was for a reason. Even with the regenerating supply of power bombs and 7 lives they give you to start, the game can be insanely difficult. You'll even feel at times that it has more boss fights than a regular shump 'em up, and your weapons don't have much effect, meaning they take quite a bit to beat, but it is a really fun game. All in all, it's a challenging, entertaining and graphically splendid game. Cool weapons, good controls, and the variation between side-scrolling shump and beat 'em up, both with the ever-present glee of shooting widely around you as you can cause insane amount of destruction, are all so satisfying. Team that with a nice soundtrack and a bit of patience, the password save feature, or even an action replay, and you've got a very good game. Kind of like mashing Contra and Gunstar Heroes together with Gradius and Life Force. It's actually quite disappointing more copies of this game don't exist, and even more so that it didn't receive a worldwide release. It probably would have done so much better. Get your emulator or flashcard out and give it a well-deserved try, or if you're lucky enough to own it, give yourself a generous pat on the back for acquiring it. It's such a gem. Before you private message me here and try and sell it to me. Just kidding. No, seriously, message me.